Alright, so we're gonna make a little vase here. Coating that clay up again, pushing it down. Now if I'm going to make more of a cylinder looking or a slender form, I won't push that clay all the way flat because I'm going to have to push that clay back in the center eventually anyways. Open up here. Now you have to think about the footprint, how narrow that base is going to be. So I don't want to go too wide. Back in here with this, I'm going to compress it. Just about anything I'm going to make, I'll bring this clay in a little bit. That way I have something to grab a hold of in there. Back in here. Now I can really grab a hold of this. That first pull is important. I'm going to grab this little ring here. Oops. I'm going to guide it with my right hand. So squeeze and guide. With that first pull, you can be pretty aggressive. But there is a limit to how far you can pull. Compress your lip. For the next pull, I really got to push that clay in. I got to push it out, and I got to get underneath that ring. The ring is created by this hand, getting underneath it with your right hand. Make sure that clay is nice and wet. You don't want a lake in there, but you need that clay to be shiny. You don't want to hit a dry spot halfway in your pull. So I'm going to kind of push in a little bit. And I'm pushing out with this hand and in here. So I got that nice little bump. Now we're going to get underneath this guy and we're going to lift it up. That second pull is very important. Now, we got quite a bit of water in there. I'm going to get it in there early so I can get my hand in here. Get rid of it. And neck it in a little bit. Now we have a little bit of waste at the bottom. We're going to get rid of this now. A lot of times I'll use my needle tool to get underneath that. Get rid of that ring of clay so it doesn't distract me. Now anything big, bowl or a cylinder, your rib's going to be your best friend. Bring this in a little bit. Now when we brought that clay in, a little uneven here. Cut this guy off. But when we brought it in, it also allowed us to have a little clay here to throw with. We can kind of finish this off, make a little neck here. I just grab this guy here, a flexible metal rib. Kind of clean up any throwing rings that you don't want. Okay, I'm gonna make a chuck here for that last vase. Open up here. You can go almost all the way to the bottom, doesn't matter. But you want to leave enough clay on here that it will still stick. Make it nice and wide. I'm going to come back in here and push the clay in. Bring the clay up. More. Make sure it's not too thin. You want this thing to be fairly burly. It's very important that this is level. Okay, so here's the vase. I threw it in the little volcano. Make sure this is on here really well. Put a little clay on these bat pins. After a while, these bats will warp a little bit. Okay. Put this guy in here. Get a little bullseye level here. That's pretty good. So we're just going to kind of clean up the shape of the bottom and make it a little more elegant. Some clay here. Secure it the best we can. Hopefully this won't go flying off. All right, so anytime, let's check the bullseye once more, get off a little bit. Anytime you're throwing something really tall, you run the risk of having it fly off. We don't want that. We'll start down here. Anytime you have something really big, even if you threw it really well, you're going to have a difference between the top and the bottom. And we have enough clay down here that we can match it, just like a bowl. Let the wheel do the work. Don't apply too much pressure, and make sure that you're catching the edge. And eventually, like now, it'll all even out. Notice how my thumb's here bracing. My other hand is touching right there. You can actually see where it's touching. I'm using that as a kind of a brace. So I'm applying pressure here, but I'm also applying pressure there to hold it. And I'm going to even out this bottom. Notice I picked up the speed just a little bit. I'm not applying very much pressure. You can see the trimming lines in there. It's almost like a record. It's a little bit at a time, because if you catch this thing, it's going to go flying off. Burnish this. I'm going to make sure this is nice and burnished, because if it's a vase, it's going to go someplace nice, like a nice table. Make sure this edge is rounded. You don't want it sharp.